Have you ever wondered why some people can keep their house spotless, work all day, and still have energy to enjoy their family, while others live tired and surrounded by clutter? The secret lies in a time management approach that few people know about, but which can completely change your routine. What if I told you there's a way to divide your day that will allow you to clean less, rest more, and still have a tidy home? It sounds too good to be true, but that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. This simple method will show you that the problem isn't a lack of time, but how you're using the hours you have. If you keep doing things the way you always have, you'll remain tired, frustrated, and with your house always in need of a thorough cleaning. But if you stick with me until the end of this video, you'll discover how to fit everything into your routine without sacrificing your health, rest, or leisure time. I'll teach you how to divide your 24 hours into 3 powerful blocks that will truly balance work, home, and rest. And best of all, you won't have to wake up earlier, sleep less, or give up the things you enjoy. Stay with me because this transformation starts now. Tip 1. Understand the power of 3 8-hour blocks. Let's start from the beginning because many people overcomplicate something that is simple. There are 24 hours in a day, right? So we'll divide these hours into 3 equal parts of 8 hours each. It seems obvious, but most people don't do this consciously and end up overloading one part of the day and neglecting the other. The first 8-hour block is for work or core obligations. This could be a job outside the home, caring for a family member, or any activity that takes up this part of your time. The second 8-hour block is for yourself, for taking care of the house, doing household chores, but also for leisure time, hobbies, and spending time with loved ones. And the third block, which many people forget or sacrifice, is for rest and sleep. 8 hours of sleep isn't a luxury. It's a basic necessity for the body to function properly. When you respect these 3 blocks, life begins to flow better. You stop feeling guilty about resting, stop thinking you need to work on household chores all the time, and begin to understand that there's a time for everything. This balance is the foundation of everything that follows. If you only sleep 5 or 6 hours a night to clean the house, you'll be draining your body of energy, and the next day, you'll be too tired to do anything properly. On the other hand, if you spend all day cleaning and don't set aside time for rest or fun, you'll end up emotionally drained. The secret isn't to do more, it's to do it better and at the right time. When you look at your day with this clear division, it's much easier to plan tasks and fit everything in without stress. Tip 2. Use the work pad. Only for this, now that you know you have 8 hours dedicated to work, the golden rule is simple: don't mix things up. These 8 hours are sacred to your main activity, whatever it may be. If you work outside the home, this is the time you dedicate to your job. If you stay home, it might be time to take care of the kids, shop, or take care of important matters. But here's the trick. Don't try to clean the entire house during this block. Many people make this mistake and end up not doing anything properly. They jump from one thing to another, try to sweep while replying to work messages, wash dishes in the middle of a virtual meeting, and at the end of the day, they're exhausted but nothing got done well. When you respect your work block, you truly focus and perform much better. You finish earlier with better quality and have energy left over for other things. So stop trying to do everything at once. If you're working, work. If you need to do a quick chore around the house, like taking something off the stove or answering the door, that's fine. But don't turn work time into cleaning time. This also applies to those who work from home and think they need to keep everything spotless all the time. It's not necessary. The house chores come later. When you separate these tasks well, productivity increases and fatigue decreases. You'll find you can accomplish in 6 hours what used to take you all day, simply because you're focused, and you still have time to breathe, have a quiet coffee, or check social media guilt-free. Tip 3. Turn personal block into quality time. Here's the part most people miss the most, but it can be the most enjoyable part of the day if you do it right. The second 8-hour block is your personal time. This includes, yes, taking care of the house, but that's not all. It's time to live life too. Within these 8 hours, you'll fit in household chores, but do it wisely and without overdoing it. Don't spend the whole day washing, ironing, cooking, and scrubbing. You'll do the essentials and then spend the rest of your time doing things that make you feel good. It could be watching TV, reading a book, talking to a friend, going for a walk, tending to the plants, or anything that brings you pleasure. The key is not to let household chores take up the entire 8 hours. Because if that happens, you no longer have any real personal time. You just have another work shift. And then physical fatigue sets in, along with emotional fatigue. So define how much time you'll dedicate to household chores within this block. It could be 2 hours, 3 at most. Make a list of what really needs to be done that day and focus on that. The rest can wait. Your home doesn't need to be perfect every day. It needs to be functional and pleasant. When you understand this, you free up space to truly live. And do you know what happens when you rest and have fun? You feel more energized to tackle the next day's tasks. It's a positive, self-reinforcing cycle. Before we continue, could you do me a favor? If you're enjoying these tips, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. And comment below where you're watching from. I'd love to know who's watching these transformations on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue, because there's still a lot of good stuff to come. Tip 4. Protect your sleep pad like it's gold. Let's talk about something everyone knows is important, but almost no one truly respects: sleep. The third 8-hour block needs to be dedicated to rest. And when I say rest, I don't mean lying in bed fiddling with your phone until the wee hours or watching TV until your eyes burn. It's real sleep, restorative sleep, that will recharge your energy for the next day. Many people sacrifice sleep to get more done, but that's backfiring. Because the next day, you'll be so tired that it will take twice as long to complete the same tasks. You'll be irritable, impatient, with a headache, and on top of that, you'll make poor decisions because of fatigue. So there's no point in sleeping 5 hours and thinking you're saving time. You're losing health, energy, and quality of life. 8 hours of sleep are non-negotiable. They need to be a priority in your routine. This means you need to calculate backwards. If you have to wake up at 6 in the morning, you need to be asleep by 10 at night. There's no point in starting to clean the kitchen at 9:30 and then complaining about not being able to sleep early. Organize your night so you have time to take care of your personal hygiene, relax a bit, and go to bed on time. Quality sleep improves everything: your mood, energy, memory, immunity, and even the appearance of your skin. You'll notice that when you sleep well, the day's tasks become easier and you're much more productive. So stop seeing sleep as a waste of time and start seeing it as an investment in your health and productivity. Tip 5. Divide household chores throughout the week. Now that you understand how the daily workload works, let's talk about how to organize household chores within your personal block without getting overwhelmed. The biggest mistake most people make is trying to do everything in one day. Then they spend the entire Saturday cleaning the house from top to bottom and end up exhausted. It doesn't have to be that way. You can spread the tasks throughout the week and do a little each day. This makes everything lighter and more manageable. For example, on Monday, you could focus on cleaning the bathrooms. On Tuesday, it could be the kitchen. On Wednesday, you organize the bedrooms. On Thursday, you do the laundry, and on Friday, you dust the house. On the weekend, you rest or just do some quick maintenance. When you divide it like this, each task takes a maximum of 1 or 2 hours, and you still have the rest of the day to do other things. There's no pressure to clean everything at once. And the best part is, the house always stays tidy, because you're taking care of it little by little every day. This is much better than letting clutter accumulate all week and having to face a huge task on the weekend. Another advantage is that you don't have to cancel appointments or forego outings because you have to clean the house. Cleaning is already a natural and easy part of your routine. Make a simple weekly plan. You can even write it on a piece of paper on the fridge with each day's tasks. This way, you won't forget anything and effortlessly keep everything under control. Tip 6. Learn to say no to excess. One of the biggest pitfalls that can throw you off balance is accepting more than you can handle. And this applies to everything. Commitments, favors, extra tasks at work, requests from family and friends. Many people have trouble saying no because they think they'll disappoint others or because they want to please everyone. But the truth is, when you say yes to everything, you're saying no to yourself. You're giving up your rest, your personal time, and your health. So you need to learn to set boundaries. If someone asks you for a favor and you're already packed, you can politely tell them you can't do it at that moment. If work requires overtime and you're exhausted, you can explain that you need to respect their schedule. If a relative wants you to make a complicated dish for a family meal and you don't have the time or energy, you can suggest something simpler or bring something purchased. There's nothing wrong with prioritizing your well-being. In fact, it's a sign of maturity and self-care. When you protect your time, you can do the important things with more quality and still have energy left over to help others when you really can. But if you're constantly overwhelmed, you can't get anything done right and everyone loses out, including you. So practice saying no without feeling guilty. You don't need to explain yourself 1,000 times. Just be sincere and kind. People will understand, and if they don't, that's their problem, not yours. The important thing is that you'll be taking care of yourself and maintaining the balance you so desperately need. Tip 7. Use technology and simple tricks to your advantage. You don't have to do everything manually and the hard way just because it's always been that way. There are tools, products, and tricks that can make your life much easier and save you precious time. For example, if you can afford it, invest in appliances that do the heavy lifting for you. A washing machine is an investment that pays for itself in time and energy. A vacuum cleaner, even the simplest one, is much faster than sweeping the entire house with a broom. An electric pressure cooker, a powerful blender, a rice colander, all of these help you cook faster and with less effort. But if you can't afford these things right now, that's okay. There are simple tricks that also work very well. For example, soaking dishes in a little dish soap while you do something else makes washing easier. Using vinegar and baking soda to clean various surfaces saves money and works just as well as expensive products. Having a microfiber cloth to wipe down furniture every day prevents dust from accumulating and requiring a thorough cleaning later. Organizing your cleaning products in a bucket that you carry around the house saves you from constantly going back and forth to the cupboard. These are small things that seem trivial, but ultimately save you minutes and make the job less tiring. So keep an eye out for practical tips. Test what works for you and build your own toolbox to make your routine easier. Tip 8. Involve the family in household chores. If you live with other people, whether it's children, a spouse, parents, or siblings, you don't have to carry the burden of household chores alone. It's everyone's home, and everyone who lives there needs to pitch in. But I know that in practice, it's not always easy to make this happen, especially if your family is used to leaving everything to you. So you'll need to have an honest conversation and clearly divide responsibilities. Sit down with everyone and explain that you need help, that you can't do everything alone, and that each person will have to take on some tasks. It doesn't have to be a dramatic speech. It can be simple and straightforward. Then, make a list of household chores and divide them among everyone according to their age and ability. A young child can put away their toys and help set the table. A teenager can wash their own dishes, tidy their room, and even help cook, adults have no excuse for not doing their part. At first, there may be resistance, grumbling, and attempts to push the tasks back onto you. But you need to be firm and not give in. If someone won't do their part, don't do it for them. Leave your husband's dirty dishes in the sink until he washes them. Leave your teenage son's clothes unwashed until he learns he needs to do his part. It sounds harsh, but it's the only way to change the pattern. Over time, everyone gets used to it, and chores become a natural part of everyone's routine. And you'll feel enormous relief when you're no longer alone in this. Before we continue, let me tell you something quick. If you want to have a clean, organized, and fragrant home without wasting hours of your day or spending on expensive products, I've prepared a complete guide with easy homemade recipes, a weekly checklist, and professional tricks that really work. The link is in the first pinned comment. Now let's continue with the video. Tip 9. Create automatic routines that work by themselves. You know those things you do every day without even thinking? Brushing your teeth, drinking coffee, combing your hair. You don't need to make a mental effort to remember them because they've become automatic. That's exactly what you need to do with some household chores. Turn them into automatic routines that happen naturally without you having to plan or force yourself every time. For example, create the habit of washing the dishes right after eating before even sitting on the couch. At first, you'll have to remember and make an effort, but after a few weeks of doing it this way, it'll become second nature. You won't even consider leaving the dishes for later. Another example is making your bed as soon as you get up. It takes literally 2 minutes and leaves your room looking tidy. If you do it every day, it becomes a habit and you'll barely even notice. It also applies to things like putting away clean clothes the same day you take them off the line, wiping the bathroom sink after use, and putting your shoes away when you get home. These are small habits that prevent clutter and dirt from accumulating. And when you have several automatic routines running, your house practically takes care of itself. You no longer need to stop for a whole day to do a deep clean because you're keeping everything in order all the time without even realizing it. To create these routines, start with 1 or 2 things at a time. Don't try to change everything at once because it won't work. Choose one habit, practice it for 3 or 4 weeks until it becomes automatic, and then add another. Little by little, you'll build a system that works for you. Tip 10. Allow time for unforeseen events and extra rest. Even with the most perfect planning in the world, life happens. There are days when you wake up sick, have an unexpected problem to solve, receive a surprise visit, or are simply exhausted and need a break. And that's okay. The secret to maintaining balance isn't having a rigid schedule that can never be broken, but rather having flexibility within your organization. So always leave some free time in your weekly planning. It could be a day when you have no scheduled tasks, or a few free hours in your schedule to fit in things that come up. This gives you a margin of safety and prevents you from panicking when something goes off plan. If nothing unexpected happens, great. You can use this extra time to get more rest, do something you enjoy, or get ahead on a task for the following week. But if something urgent comes up, you have room to fit it in without disrupting your entire routine. Another important thing is not to put too much pressure on yourself. Some days you'll be able to do everything perfectly, and others you'll only do the basics. And both are right. You're not a machine. You're a human being with limited energy and feelings. So if you had a tough day and couldn't stick to your routine, don't beat yourself up. You'll get back to it tomorrow. The important thing is that you're trying and gradually getting better. Perfection doesn't exist, nor does it need to. What matters is that you're taking care of yourself, respecting your limits, and building a routine that works for your life, not against it. So we've reached the end of the video, and I hope you've realized that organizing your day into 3 8-hour blocks isn't just a planning technique. It's a mindset shift. It's about deciding that you deserve a balanced life, where you work, take care of your home, but also rest and have fun. It's about understanding that you don't have to choose between a tidy house or time for yourself. You can have both when you better manage your time. It's not about doing more things. It's about doing the right things at the right time. Take what you've learned here today and start applying it little by little. You don't have to change everything at once. Start by separating your day into blocks, then divide your tasks for the week, then create a routine or two. Do it at your own pace and observe what works best for you. In a few weeks, you'll look back and be amazed at the difference these changes have made in your life. Before I finish, I want to remind you of something important. If you want to have a clean, organized, and fragrant home without wasting hours of your day or spending on expensive products, I've prepared a complete guide with simple homemade recipes, a weekly checklist, and professional tricks that really work. The link is in the first pinned comment. It's worth checking out to transform your routine in a practical and economical way. And now I want to hear from you. Which tip resonated most with you? Which one will you start implementing today? Comment below. I love reading and responding to each of your comments. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe now and activate the bell so you don't miss future videos with more practical tips for your daily life. Thank you for sticking with me this far, and see you in the next video.